Team Penske driver and Daytona 500 champion Austin Cindric is getting ready for Talladega Superspeedway this weekend. Even with his win in the Great American Race, Cindric has gone back to look at that event to learn what he can do better when it comes to pack racing.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to have a perfect plate race. I think there's always things that you can look at, and you try. The hardest part for me, like watching film, especially when it's races that I'm in, is hard not to just watch yourself. You watch the race and you go, oh, I remember this, I remember that. Like, oh, this guy was an idiot. Like you try and remember the race that you were in, but the bigger picture of like doing the film study is to watch other moves other people make and different trends. Like, Kyle Busch was leading the lane, for example, and understanding, looking at the data, looking at the film, okay, what's he doing to try and keep the lead? What are other guys playing with? How does that evolve throughout the race as people learn things? So those are the things that you kind of have to pause the video and look at and understand. And it's a lot of information and trying to figure out what the things that are most important to look at and think about, and but all in the same time, like I said before, keeping an open mind is important, because I think with this car, like I feel like there was a pretty good science to it with the Xfinity car, if I'm being honest. Whereas I feel like with this car, it's much more dependent on what's happening in the pack versus what's happening with the air.
The NASCAR Cup Series will run the Geico 500 at Talladega Superspeedway this Sunday starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. To get more stories on all things motorsports, be sure to visit speedsport.com. This has been a Speed Sports Snippet.